Hi everyone. Yeah, welcome Dr. Ayo. We are glad to have you here today. Welcome fam Rahim. Welcome everybody. I'm trying to type the topic. Please, if you can hear me, say hi. If you can hear me, say hi. Dealing with reduced appetite. Yes. So that's the title. Okay, thank you. I can see that you can all hear me. I think we are three in here. So I've posted the topic being underweight, dealing with reduced appetite. Okay, so welcome once again. By way of introduction, for people that don't know me, my name is Pharmacist Ife. I'm Pharm Ife, and I'm the face behind this page. And on this page, I share health tips, I share medicine tips about medications. I offer one-on-one health consultation, and it's been wow. I've gotten good responses from people how the health tips has helped them. And the reason why I'm bringing this topic on, like we are talking about this topic, today's topic, which is being underweight, dealing with reduced appetite. For some days, weeks now, I've had clients coming to me and complaining about being underweight, either that they are not convenient with their weight, or that people are complaining that they are getting lean, or they have reduced appetite, they can't eat well. So I felt that okay, of course I talk with them, let them know the causes, what they are doing wrong. Then if they need medications, I prescribe medications most times, and of course I've gotten results. But I believe that this is an example, or this is a representative of certain kind of people. There's this fact about weight loss. Almost everybody is going through weight loss. There's weight loss challenge here and there, but there's nobody talking actively about weight gain. And weight gain could be something that is a very being underweight could be a very potential health risk. Yes, I'll be talking about it briefly before I invite Dr. Ajayi to come to join me live. So being underweight is, by way of definition, being underweight is just being, having a weight that is too low or too good for your health. A weight that is low, so that is not good for your health, for your total well-being. And a lot of things can cause being underweight. You could be underweight because you are just recovering from certain illnesses, or maybe because you lack a necessary diet, or it could also be due to the fact that maybe genetics, but that one can be worked upon, so that you might not be maybe very fat, but at least you be your weight to commensurate with your height. So that's by way of introduction. So now I'll be bringing our my guest. My guest is his name is Dr. Ajayi. He's a medical doctor and a practicing medical doctor, and he'll be talking to us about being underweight, the medical condition, being underweight, and ways to deal with it. So it's nice to have you on board, Dr. Ayo. I think you have sent Dr. Ajayi. I think you have sent a request to me, so I'll be receiving your request now. Hello, Dr. Ajayi. Can you hear me? All right. While we're waiting for him, thank you everybody for joining us. Favorite pharmacist, thank you for joining. HB Ladit, thanks for joining. Then is trying to join us. Ajayi 7764. Thanks for joining. So he's trying to join us. I think his network, but will soon join us. Hey, okay. Dr. Ajayi, if you can hear me, please send your request again. Please send your request again so that you can join me in the video. Call it. Join me. Now we're not going to send this to me again. Hello, Dr. Ajayi. Please, we are waiting for you. Hello. Apologies, everyone. He will soon join us. I think he's having issues with his internet connection. Oh, okay. Send your request again, Dr. Ajayi. Send your request again so that I can add you to the live. Okay, wait, not call it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hello. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Welcome. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, so you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for the introduction.
All right, so you can start.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for the introduction and thank you for having me on this platform. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the old age. It's because of network. Network is really dealing with me here. I had to switch to Airtel. I was somebody using MTN, so I had to switch to Airtel. So the reason for the brief or for the brief delay. So thank you once again. Yeah, by the way of introduction, I'm Ajayi Simeon Ayolua, a medical practitioner, and I'm so much blessed to have the honor of being here. Yeah, so let's just dive right into it. I hope everybody is with me.
Yes, we are with you.
Okay, let's just dive right into it. So the topic is simply being underweight, and okay, let me say it's as a topic and a subtopic. So the major topic is being underweight, and the subtopic is dealing with reduced appetite. Or I would say, in other words, how to gain weight. All right, now, so to put into perspective, let's just start with. I will try to be as practical as possible. So I will just so let's start with what's the definition of underweight, being underweight. So, like Fahmi Fair has said in the introduction to the class, being underweight is not having a good weight, it's not having the optimal weight. So that means if there's a term called underweight, that means there's something called normal weight, and there's something called overweight or obese, as you may have it. Yeah, so these terms actually have specific definitions, standard definitions. Yeah, so and the definitions reference to what we call body mass index. So what is body mass index? Body mass index is usually, it's gotten from the formula weight over height square. So that means if you are calculating your weight, if you are calculating your, making reference to your weight, you are making reference to weight, not actually only weight, but the height. Yeah, so both in relation to each other actually constitute your weight in general. Yeah, so now after calculating your BMI, that now determines your which category, whether underweight, normal weight, or overweight that you have. So the normal range of an adult human being, normal weight range that you should, or normal BMI, let me put it. So the normal BMI that you should have, it should be between 18.5 to 24.9. 18.5 to 24.9 kilogram per meter square. So that means anything that falls below that value or that range can be regarded as being underweight, and anything that, of course, is above that range can be regarded as overweight. So, of course, there are classes to the overweight. There are overweight, overweight is 24.9 or 25 to 29.9. Then there's obesity, class 1 obesity, and the likes. But this class is going to major on underweight, so I'm going to concentrate on underweight, the lower part of it. All right. So as Fami Fair rightly pointed out in the introduction, so many people have we have so much attached importance to being overweight. I mean, clinical importance to being overweight, because you relate it to so many chronic disease or diseases that we, of course, that we are aware of, the likes of hypertension, the likes of diabetes mellitus, the likes of cancers, and so you have it. So the overweight is being grossly linked to this. That's why the attention has been shifted to overweight over time. Yeah. But I would tell you boldly, and with all, of course, I will tell you with all facts and figures that underweight is actually, if it's actually more important clinically than overweight. You understand? Underweight is actually more clinically important or clinically relevant than being overweight. And according to some, while I was trying to make some findings as regards this class, according to a particular research, underweight actually kills more. I don't want to refer to the figures because I don't have a backing for the figures, but at least underweight, from what I got, the information I got, underweight actually kills more or faster than overweight. Okay. So that's to show, that goes a long way to show how important or how clinically important or relevant the topic of being underweight and dealing with underweight is important, how important it is. So okay, now I mean, having had that in that introduction, let's just go right into it. What are the possible causes of underweight? Okay, so as I said, I'm going to be as practical as possible. Underweight. You know what actually contributes to our weight? The major thing that contributes to our weight is the kind of food that we eat, or food or meal. Okay, so I'll start from the basics of all the causes that we can think of that readily comes to our mind, which is eating disorder. You understand? Eating disorder, which in other words is anorexia. We call it anorexia nervosa. Anorexia nervosa. Anorexia nervosa simply means is a big term, but it simply means that loss of appetite, that you as a person, you don't have the appetite to, you don't have that urge to want to eat, to want to take any food. You just find the food and it doesn't seem appealing to you. You understand? So that's an eating disorder. And of course, there's another side of it, which is, we call it bulimia nervosa. That's when you eat too much, but that's not for this class. So we are concentrating on anorexia nervosa, and eating disorder, which is the anorexia nervosa part of it, is actually can be reflective of some disease condition, certain disease condition, especially when we talk about mental or psychological or psychiatric illness like depression. can be a reflection, or it can be a symptom, of depression. So when someone is going to depression, or of course there'll be other symptoms, but the first thing that you notice from the person, or from the outlook, or from the affect of the person, is the fact that the person has not been eating. Probably you give the person the person normally finish, maybe like a plate of rice or a bowl of rice. Suddenly the person can't finish maybe like a quarter of such quantity of food. You understand? So that shows you, there's something wrong. Of course, with other red flags, like probably the person has lack of interest in seemingly enjoyable activities. As activities that the person has been enjoying before. Anergia, that means the person doesn't have so much energy, doesn't showcase so much energy into, or doesn't put life into what he has been doing. And so there are other symptoms, but I'm just talking about the eating part of it, or the eating disorder part of it. So it can be a symptom of depression. So moving away from that, we also have thyroid disorder. Thyroid disorder, of course, it's can also be a cause of reduced appetite. When you notice someone not or probably eating, trying to eat. Of course, in thyroid disorder, the problem is their net weight gain. That's the problem there. These people, they actually try to eat, they eat as much, but the fact that the thyroid hormone, usually a metabolic hormone. So when there's a thyroid disorder, usually hyperthyroidism, you understand, the person metabolizes, or the rate of metabolism, or basal metabolic rate. What do I mean by metabolism? I'm sorry for using big terms. It's just like a breaking down of the food, of the nutrients present in the food that you eat. So that rate is actually more in hyperthyroidism. That's when the thyroid hormone is increased. You understand? So so in that case, the person eats a lot, but it's not gaining more weight. Yeah, it's not gaining more weight, because most of what you are eating is being is the transit time is increased, is being metabolized.
Store it as fat.
Yes, yeah. So you're not storing it. You understand? So you are metabolizing more than the storage. Yeah, and also that's the hyperthyroidism part of it. And also there's the other side to it, hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism is when there's reduced thyroid hormone. Of course, such person, you see the person sluggish. That kind of person actually gains weight more. But where the caveat is that the person eats a little and gets filled easily. So that's where the caveat is. So because the rate of metabolism is low, so of course you have so much being stored already after eating a little quantity of the food. So moving away from that, we have infections. Infections actually take a whole lot. Let me say, if we have like if we have like we have to divide the causes, we have to make the causes of underweight into 100%. Infection actually take like a big chunk of it. 100% takes like 40 to 50%, because infections comes with the first sign and symptoms of any infection. You understand that you have is most often times, like 8 out of 10 times, loss of appetite. Okay, because what this infection does to the body is to there's a part of the brain we call the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus deals with regulation of our appetite and all those things via the release of hormones. You understand? So so when infection comes in, there are signals sent to this hypothalamus, or this part of the brain, that will tell us that that will reduce the part that when stimulated we increase our appetite. So it will tend to inhibit it because of some signals that have been sent to that part of the brain. So infections generally, tending from normal malaria that we know, the usual malaria. Of course, when we know, you and I will know that when you start having the symptoms of malaria, loss of appetite, or refusal of feed, usually a major part of the symptoms, and also ranging from that to GI infections where you vomit, maybe gastroenteritis, or the varieties of GI infections that you have, that where you vomit and you have nausea and all that. So loss of appetite is always almost a part of it because of what I just mentioned. And also another cause of underweight is fasting. People that fast a lot. I mean, this is not a rocket science. If you don't eat as much, you won't gain as much.
Yeah.
So if you fast, if you are the type that fast, I mean, that go to one thing from one thing to the other. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but at the expense of your health. I mean, as they say, health is wealth. So at the expense of your health, you should actually pay attention to how much you fast, because once you fast, you put the body at the body, of course, for the first few days, the body first few hours to days, 1-2 days, the body finds its way around it because it has its storage, it has its stores, storage or stores, as the case may be. So within these hours of fasting, it tends to break down those stores of energy, so that you don't die. So your brain, the vital organs can be served with what they need. So
Sorry, it's the network. It will soon be back. I hope you are learning one or two things from this webinar. I hope you are learning one or two things. Yes, we
hello.
lost you for quite some time. Yes.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So now, so of course, other causes can be diabetes or the chronic conditions, cancer, and they have their ways of causing increase of weight loss or being underweight. Diabetes being that because there's reduction in insulin. I mean, insulin in diabetes, the level of insulin is low, and insulin is an anabolic hormone, meaning that it tends to build up energy stores, tends to build up source of energy like protein and all that. So once you can build up a lot of protein, your weight is fine. But so in diabetes, insulin is low, so buildup of the anabolic function that insulin is meant to produce, meant to serve, is now lacking. Loss in essential. Yes. So, and also in cancer too. So I mean, those are the major causes that we can at least tend to have when you are talking about being underweight. And one major point I want us to derive or from this whole thing is that when you're talking about weight in general, gaining weight is a function of the classes of food that we know: carbohydrates majorly.
Yes. Please, if you have questions, we can drop our questions in the comment section. We can just type the questions. I will. Sorry, we lost you over there. Can you come again?
Hello, sorry for that. Sorry.
Yes. Sorry, it's network. It will soon be with us now.
So as I was saying, the bottom line I want us to, if we are going to get anything from this class, the bottom line I want us to get is that what contributes majorly to our weight is okay. Of course, we know the classes of food: the carbohydrates, protein, fat and oil, or fat, vitamins, and all the like. So what contributes majorly to our weight is protein. That class of food, protein. Why am I saying this? Because protein is a building block, or amino acids, which is a building block of proteins, are the building blocks of our muscles.
Yeah, we are with you. Think you can go on. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, we are with
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. So protein constitutes, a big chunk of our weight. So in other words, if you are trying to gain weight or if you are making effort to gain weight, you should watch the food. You won't take food that contain carbohydrate, fat, because also they are also source of calories. You understand? But actually, to put into it, calories and fat are actually the richest source of calories. But because we are made up of course, as human beings, we are made up of muscles. Muscles clothes are our bones. So there's a lot of muscle mass for us. So what constitutes the muscle mass? What constitutes our weight is because of this muscle mass. Majority big chunk of our weight is considered by the muscle mass, and what constitutes muscle mass is the protein. Major part of the muscles is protein, is made up of protein. So I want us to get that as a point. All right, so now having talked about the causes of underweight, let's delve into the health consequences of being underweight, or the disadvantages of being underweight. The very first one, which is the most, as a medical practitioner, is something I come with. It's something I come across in my daily practice, especially children, because children are at risk of this, are more at risk of this. Why am I saying this? Because we adults, over time, our immunity has been built, has been sort of quote unquote polished or strengthened or fortified because of our exposures to different sources of infection. But as a child, as a kid, they are just building up. They are just coming up. They are just developing their source. Yes, they'll be developing their source of immunity. You understand? They're just strengthening and fortifying their immunity. You understand? In terms of muscle mass, in terms of fat, in terms of so many things, they are deficient in it. So I tend to tell patients that feed this child. I will come back to what we're saying, but let me just miss what I tell patients from day to day. Patient that I see, especially malaria, treat and all those things, meaning that they usually come to the hospital to treat malaria in and out, like a frequent hospital visit for malaria or bronchiolitis or bronchopneumonia. I mean, in kids. What I just tell them, I make them to understand that, see, these kids are not like are not like us. Apart from the fact that these diseases or these conditions are rampant in this their age, but another factor is the factor of nutrition. The factor of nutrition. A malnourished, or let me say, or an undernourished, because malnourishment or malnutrition can be divided into undernutrition and overnutrition. But now we are talking about undernutrition. An undernourished kid is at the risk of infection. Why? It's not a rocket science. Nutrients they are providing with the body in terms of protein, majorly, they help in fighting infections. Most of these cells of our body that are responsible for fighting infection, that constitute the immunity or immune system of our body, they operate on protein, on amino acids. These amino acids, that's the building blocks of protein, are the ones that help to, all the signals, all the signaling pathways, or for the immunity of our for the functioning of our immune system, are majorly based on proteins. They are constituted majorly proteins. So if we are defective, or if a child or anybody is defective in that protein, that particular class of food, of course, you know what is going to result. The person is going to have is going to fall sick oftentimes. So now, yes, so the major health consequence of being undernourished is infection. The person comes down with a lot of infection because you don't have you don't have a store to fight infection, to fight, your immunity has not been fortified.
Yes.
Okay, so that's one. Then number two, I want to quickly delve to ladies, or for the female gender now.
Yes.
Being undernourished can actually constitute to infertility. You ask me,
Yeah.
you are surprised. Infertility, I mean, okay, let me start from there. Um, of course, as we all know, if our normal for females, they usually have the menstrual cycle, ovulatory
Yes.
cycle. I mean, they ovulate and all that, and all these things are brought about. All these events in the female reproductive cycle or reproductive system are brought about by interplays of hormones. We call some hormones estrogen, we call some progesterone.
Yeah.
Okay, so they are caused by interplays of hormones. So if of course if the person is underweight, this hormone that it will lead to there's something we call hormonal imbalance. Okay,
Yeah.
there's something we call hormonal imbalance. So it can play out as hormonal imbalance in which you have low levels of these hormones. And once you have low levels of these hormones, you won't have ovulation because these hormones that control that help you to ovulate. Is this hormones that help you to ovulate? And of course, when you have an ovulation, when you ovulate or release eggs, that's what I mean by ovulation, and also do your menses or your menstrual cycle is regular. That's when you are sure of being fertile. Because if these things are not well tightly regulated as they ought to be, of course, the resultant effect is infertility.
Infertility.
So as little, yes, so as little or insignificant as underweight might seem or might look, can be it can be so important. You understand? It can be so important to cause infertility. Is anemia. Anemia. I mean, what is anemia? Blood level, reduced blood level. Okay, so of course, when we eat a lot, it helps us to build our red blood cells. Okay, build our red blood cells, the blood level. It helps us to build it because the constituent of red blood cells majorly is from breakdown of the food we eat. Okay, and also what leads to production of red blood cells and all these the constituents are actually vitamins, because there's some vitamins we call vitamin B co. Okay, vitamin B complex made up of a lot of water soluble vitamin Bs. Most important, notable of which are the vitamin B9, the folic acid, and the vitamin B12, cyanocobalamin. So these two are majorly, of course, needed when you, in sustaining the red blood cells.
Yes.
Yeah, in producing red blood cells and in sustaining the red blood cells, so that they won't break down inside the vessels or inside the circulation. So
Hello, Dr. Ajayi. Please, apologies for that. He will soon join us back. I think it's his network, or maybe he's receiving a call. He will soon join us. I hope to have learned one or two things. Parts of while he's joining us, coming back on the live session, he's talking about the disadvantages or the health. Okay, we lost him. I hope he joins again. But from what he said, from what he has been saying, is that the health risk of being underweight could cause infection, it could cause reduced fertility, or cause actual fertility in females. And it links that with hormonal imbalance. And when there is hormonal imbalance, there could be the factors that will contribute to making the womb fertile may be reduced. And it was on the point of talking about low blood levels. If you don't eat well, if you are underweight, you could have low blood levels. So I think I will just go ahead from that. Part of the disadvantages of being underweight that I highlighted here is that it reduces your low thinking capacity. Yes, because the way our brain works, the brain works with the supply of glucose, of energy. So if you don't eat well, if the body does not find things to work on, or there's no optimal levels of glucose in the body. It will not supply to the brain, and you know it could cause you to be not be smart. So some people that they are not smart, like if you are explaining things to them, you have to talking and talking 2 or 3 times before they understand a concept. It could be that they are not eating well. It could be that they are underweight. So is a very important thing that we must deal with. Another thing, it could cause regular bone pains because you are not eating well. Your bone mass, your bones are not they're not performing optimally, such that it could cause you may be having regular bone pains, like your bones are being stretched out. They don't. It's just the food is basic. Eating well, being of appropriate weight according to your height and age group is very very important, and the importance cannot be overemphasized. I think we have learned 1 or 2 things from this class, and I want to appreciate Dr. Ajayi for joining me in this live session. We have lost him. I think it's his network, but before we go, I think he has said 1 or 2 things. I don't know if I can get through to him on my other phone. Maybe I can call him if he still has other things to say. Let me call him. All right. So thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I can see Dr. Leke. Dr. Leke Ajayi, my cousin. Thanks for joining. I can see Ore. Famore. Thanks for joining, oh, my friend. A very good friend. Thanks for joining. I can see Osiren Maxwell. Thanks for joining. Gildane, thanks for joining. I hope you have learned 1 or 2 things. I'm trying to reach him on my other phone. Whether we should still expect him or we should just call it a day. Just call it a day. So while I'm trying to reach him, I would like to say 1 or 2 things about this. A lot has been said about being underweight. Okay. Hello, Hayo. Try láti load the what's it called? Try and load my page again. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello? Okay, so I'm trying to reach him. So this is just an awareness. Like this life class is an awareness. And if you think that you need more consultation, like more help concerning this, because it's an health emergency, it could be an health emergency in certain people. And hello? Sorry, hello? Oh, to join me again, Abby. Okay, just request. Are you almost done? Okay. Just try and enumerate, and you can send a request like to 1 or 2 minutes. We cannot, maybe we will just maybe like you record the video and we upload it or something. But try. I will give you like 2 or 3 minutes. But if you cannot, I think we'll call it a day. All right, thank you. I'll be expecting you. All right. Okay, so there are people that would still need more holding of hands, like talking to you one-on-one, trying to know the causes. Then from knowing the causes, you know what to do. So as a result of this, I'm organizing a 10-day challenge, a 10-day increase your weight challenge. Okay, Dr. Ajayi is back. He's back. He has requested to be in the live video, so I've granted his request, but I can't seem to find him. All right, so like I was saying, so I'm organizing a 10-day challenge. A 10-day challenge, increase your weight gain challenge. So this challenge would have like a close group session, people that want to increase their weight. We talk about the causes of the weight, things that we have discussed or Dr. Jaya has spoken about in this video. We'll talk about it in depth, in more details. Then after that, we'll now talk about meal plans, things that you can eat, because it's not about getting hungry. Even if you do things that will make you get hungry, if you don't eat the right food, like he said that one of the things that protein is one of very very important part of class of food that we must be eating, so that because it's an important part of building muscle block of the body. So if you don't so there are meals that you can eat, that you can incorporate into eating, that will enable you get normal weight, not unnecessary fat, but having appropriate weight for your height and for your age range. So we'll do things. I'll supply. Hello, Dr. Ajayi. You can request to be in the video. Request to be in the video. I will add you up. All right. So there will be meal plans. There will be accountability group where people that organize that are facing a challenge or the other can share their thoughts, and you know, we can be of help. I'll be like the coach, then other people will tell us how they are, you know, faring. So that will be okay. I think Dr. Ajayi is about joining us. Okay, so welcome back, Dr. Ajayi.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm so sorry for that time or
No
time
problem.
out. Network issues. Of course, network will always deal with you when
Please go ahead. We are thank.
Yes. So yeah, thank you for having me. I'm so sorry for the timeout. It's network issues again. So sorry for that. So now let's. I think we stopped at the consequences of being underweight, which I have a whole lot, but just which I have a whole lot, but just to save us time. Of course, if I have an opportunity to be here again to talk about the same, I'll be able to dwell more in depth on that. So now to the benefits. Now to the benefits of being normal weight. Of course, having the normal weight. So definitely, yeah, it's ranging from the fact that so if I want to now talk about talking about normal weight, have benefit of having normal weight. So definitely that means I'm going to talk about as opposed overweight and as opposed underweight. So reduces risk of hypertension, heart disease, and stroke and the likes. And also it reduces cancer, the risk of cancers, I mean, different cancers that you have, and also it increases energy levels. You're fine.
I already said that when you are away, that people that they are so dull, like if you are explaining concepts to them, you have to explain over and over again that maybe the blood supply to their brain is not optimal, so they are not.
Yes.
You understand? And it could be as a result of being underweight.
Being underweight can make you so dull. Can make you dull because I mean, of course, the same thing. If you have been worked, like today now, I was at work all through the day. I didn't eat until around afternoon because the day was busy. It was a busy day, so I didn't eat until around afternoon. And I mean, it's a brain work I'm doing. So, and the fact that the brain consumes a lot of food. Apologies. Of course, at times work constraints and all that. Of course, it's not the best, but I mean, I'm working towards achieving that. But at times, so I mean, just to tell you that when you have a low amount of energy or glucose or nutrients, you are dull and you are not productive. You're not productive. So also that's another thing. Then also it optimizes the immune system. Your immunity is fortified. Your immune system is fortified. You are immune to almost all this malaria, all this normal illness or infection that naturally shouldn't cause anything or shouldn't hold you down. You're immune to it. And also it reduces, like I said, it reduces risk of infertility. I mean, of course, in opposition to what I mentioned earlier as part of the consequences. And also, it also increases self-esteem. Your self-esteem. I mean, if you are normal weight, you are able to carry yourself very well. You're able to carry yourself very well. I could remember those times when I was a schooler and I used to work out. I mean, the self-esteem was there that, okay, anywhere I go, I'm not being proud, but at least I know I have to some extent, I have a good picture of myself or good image of myself, and I'm able to carry myself very well. Okay, and also it reduces risk of fracture and osteoporosis. Like I mentioned, okay, I didn't mention it in other consequences.
Advantages of being underweight. Yes. try and round up now so that try and round up.
Okay, all right. So just round it off. To round it off, I'll now talk on how to deal with reduced appetite or how to gain weight majorly. So I'll just give a few tips. That, of course, I think I've given to my patients and helped them, and of course can also be of help. So number one is that when you want to eat if you know that you are the choosy type, or you are the one that you usually get easily tired of food, you can eat in bits. Okay, you can eat in bits. Yeah, the concept or the psychology behind this is that you are trying to trick your brain. At times, some people, the amount of food, when they see the food as high as Mount Everest, they get scared, and automatically the brain switches off. The part of the brain that, of course, that increases appetite switches off, and such that you don't lose interest in eating the food. So when you eat food in sizable quantities, in pieces, of course, you can, of course, then gain a lot or eat a lot. So now another one is when you eat nutrient-rich foods like protein. Like I mentioned that if you want to gain weight, you need a lot of protein. So you eat the protein-rich food majorly. Okay, so what do I mean by protein-rich food? Your milk, your yogurt, your beans, your legumes, your beans, your nuts, soya beans. You understand? Cheese, peanut, granules, peanut butter, and all those and all the likes. So you eat food rich in protein. Eggs, you should eat a lot of eggs. So because it does a lot of course. If I didn't have the time, I would have loved to dwell more on this point, but at least let me just, of course, mention the most important things. Yes. Yeah. So another one is exercise. Another thing that you can do and it goes appetite. In helping your appetite or gaining weight. How does it happen? When you exercise, you of course burn a lot of calories such that you become hungry. You understand? So that you become hungry. And also when you exercise, at least do some anaerobic or gym, as they will put it. You understand? You build.
If you're underweight, that's kind of exercise. Not all exercises you can do. If you're underweight, there's certain kind of exercises that you have to do.
Yeah, of course, certain kind of exercises. What I mean by certain kind of exercises, the ones that would all these aerobic exercises where you have to walk on the treadmill or just take a brisk walk. You understand? All these cardio exercises where you have to take a brisk walk and sweat, and you understand. So that will actually, of course, that helps to stimulate the part of the brain that works on appetite, and also that helps to burn a lot of calories such that you feel hungry, stimulate your appetite. So, so it does a lot of things. And also, when you are eating, so what you can do when you are eating, when you are during your meal time, you can make it more fun. Like probably have people around when you are eating, or probably you eat more of things that you like, of course, because there's a part of the brain, there's that tendency that you want to eat more of what you like. Okay. So then also you don't take a lot of beverages when you're eating, or take a lot of water. Because once you take a lot of water, the whole thing would have filled your stomach, and once your stomach is distended, you feel already satisfied.
Yes.
Then also you can incorporate some foods, some smoothies, a lot of smoothies. You understand?
Proteins. Putting all the yogurt and all that. You're right. You're right.
And also fruit goes a long way in stimulating your appetite. Then vegetables, fruit rich in protein, and all that.
Fruits that could increase your weight. There are fruits that aid weight loss, and there are fruits that aid weight gain. So it's just a balance of. Okay, thank you. Do you have any other thing to say, doctor?
Then another most important thing that it's a common mistake we make is the fact that you should not skip your breakfast. It's not a ESA, or it's not one high falutin stuff. It's actually something that I relate with. When you eat in the morning, when you don't skip your breakfast, there's that part of when you eat your breakfast, when you don't miss your breakfast, you build a lot of heat, break a lot of energy, make up a lot of energy. You make a lot. We call it thermogenesis. That means you make a lot of energy, heat energy, such that you can. I mean, when doing this, you break down calories. So by breaking down calories, you are going to get more hungry and be able to eat. But once you miss your breakfast, there's that tendency for you to just the body to just continue that state of rest, and you won't feel hungry.
All right, all right, all right.
So I think that's that. Then there's the aspect of supplements too. Supplements, Bico, zinc, and the likes.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much summarizes everything that I have.
See, all right. All right. So thank you
So
very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr.
yeah,
Ajayi. It's a pleasure having
yeah,
you on this live session. I don't know if anybody
yeah.
has any questions briefly, and I want the questions to come in. And if the questions are not coming, while the questions are coming in, so I just like to chip in one or two things. Is that it is necessary or important for us to eat, and there's a reason why there's something called breakfast, there's something called lunch, something called dinner, 3 square meals. So the reason why that system is in place is that the body, after eating breakfast, by the time it's afternoon, certain hours, the body has
Yes,
already metabolized to it, and the body needs something to keep it in shape. That's why there is lunch, and there is dinner. So the balance of, so you don't eat because, you don't eat because you feel like, or I don't feel like. You eat because your body needs it. You eat because you are
needs it.
like, and you need to eat. You understand? So
Yes,
that has to be what is driving us, and it
yeah,
has to be important, because there are people that they just get fed up. Like when they are in certain doing certain things, they don't feel hungry. But when you know that, okay,
yeah.
it's important for me to, just like it's important for you to brush your teeth in the morning, or have,
It
or take your
is.
bath or
Yes,
something. So it's
yes.
important for you to also to eat. And so that brings me back to what I said earlier, that there's a 10-day challenge that I'm organizing, and the challenge is increase your weight gain. In the challenge, I will give you meal plans, the meal plans that will help you eat appropriately, that help you gain weight. Then, if you need to be given supplement, I'll prescribe supplements for you, and there's something that we call appetite stimulants. Yes, they stick with. I will tell you that the things that you need to eat, there will be daily prompt, there will be timely prompt of when you need to eat, so that by the end of the 10 days, that's become an habit for you to eat. So another thing is, you have access to me at pharmacies throughout this 10-day period. There is going to be tips to gaining and maintaining health. Yes, you're going to have tips, daily tips that are going to help you to, gain weight, and maintain the weight that you have gained. I'm not saying that you're going to gain 30 kg within the 10 days, but I know that there will be
It's a
a lot of
gradual,
difference
it's a gradual
within those
process.
10 days, so that you can maintain after that. So the challenge is supposed to be 5,000 naira, and it's starting next week Wednesday, by God's grace. But if you
Okay.
register now, you can send a DM if you are interested. You're going to be paying 3,000 naira. So it's a 10-day challenge, and you can register for your friend that you feel is underweight, and you know that with this class, she will feel better, or you will feel better. And then, before I end this live session, there's no question. So before I end this live session, I want to tell you a story. When I finished university a few years back, when I was in school, I used to eat like I eat, and things I eat then, they are calorie based. I eat spag, I eat indomie, I eat rice. Just eat like that. I eat protein, I eat peanut. In fact, that time I used to combine kibin biscuit and groundnuts to eat. I used to eat, and I was not that active in school. From class to hostel, from hostel to fellowship. So I was not the spirit type in school. So I was always at the sport. So I was eating and I had weight. Like that time I used to weigh 65 kg. When I finished school, then I went for internship. Pharmacists go for internship, a 1 year internship. My weight reduced, like my weight did not it was not like that. My appetite reduced drastically. I was not eating. So my parents were so concerned that I was doing my internship in another state. My mom was said that, oh, she would not have to come and be, me staying with him during the weekend and buying food stuff for me. buying food stuff for me and cook the soup for me. That was my mom then. Telling me then. You understand? It was so obvious that I was losing weight. I was not eating. There was no appetite. So of course it could be like maybe emotional, psychological issues because maybe I was not in school. There were no maybe there are not plenty friends or things like that. But it became an issue for me, and I had to intentionally eat. And I intentionally program myself that okay, during the weekend I'm going to buy stuff that I eat. In fact, that time I had to go and learn how to make puff puff, how to make buns, how to make donuts. I don't want to be eating those things outside because I could not regulate what they were putting inside. But I had to go and learn so that I can make it myself and I can make an healthy version of those things because they were the things that I love. You understand? So it took an intentional, apart from the fact that I had to use appetite stimulant, of course, being a pharmacist helped me. I had to take that and I have to be more intentional. So because my weight was reduced and people were like, in fact, when I appear like this, I appear like a secondary school student, someone that's already finished from school. You understand? So it was something that even after that, there are times that those period elapses again that I have to be consciously, eat and incorporate things that will make me increase my weight and look good and also improve your self-esteem. So I believe that we have learned one or two things from this live session, and on my page I will still share more things about the challenge, and if you want to join you can send a DM. Thanks, Dr. Ayo, for having us. Dr. Ayo Ajayi, he's my brother. He's my brother. Thanks for having us. Thanks for coming. We don't take it lightly. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone for joining. I appreciate you for joining. And the live session, the replay will be on my. You can always look at every point in time. Dr. Ajayi, bye bye. See you.
All
I hope
right.
that when we
Thank you
call
so
you
much for
next
having
time,
me.
you will answer.
By
All right.
God's grace. By
Thank you,
God's
Dr.
grace.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Thank
everybody
you.
that's joined. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Like, turn off tonight is high. I'm so grateful. So, all right. So, see you in another video. Till then, I remain pharmacist, the fair. Till your favorite online pharmacist. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye. All right. Thank you, Alale Isaac. Thank you.